So now we are finally going to turn this rough draft into a final draft of our essay. So I went ahead and finished with my little outline and rough draft here for paragraphs 2, body paragraph 2 and body paragraph 3, because I told you guys I know you don't want to watch me go through the whole thing. A couple of things I want to point out that when I was writing this, again, because it's a rough draft, oh, my jingle jangle keys are jingling. Because it is a rough draft, it's fine that I made mistakes. Like here, I said PE teaches this, PE helps students learn. Those are pretty close together, so to have those two sentences back to back is a little meh. Um, Here, saying PE builds endurance is like, yeah, but not really. That's not the best word I want to use. These, I didn't know whether I was supposed to capitalize them or not, so I have that marked so I can think about it a little bit later. Here, I didn't like the grammar of it, to run a mile, do push ups and pull ups, and do a lot of sit ups. That didn't really sound that great. And here, with the have to have, I didn't really like that. So I marked those as things to go back and look at when I write the actual paragraph. Down here, I know I'm not supposed to say kids, but I wasn't worried about it, but just marking to myself, make sure you don't say kids, because they're too busy looking at a screen. Now, this I want to point out because it's the kind of thing that I see a lot of you guys writing. And you'll see that one of the check boxes on the rubric that they grade your essay by says that you have to know your audience and that you use like formal language. This sounds too conversational. It sounds too much like what you just say to your friend. Like, kids these days always too busy looking at a screen. You don't want to write like that. You want to write in a professional way. So I'm going to make sure I fix that in a few minutes. Here, I feel like these two sentences were kind of saying the same thing, so I'm probably going to combine those. I couldn't think how to better say power walking, but I think power walking is a little too informal there too. And here, I didn't like the wording of that. So I went through, I finished with my rough draft outline and marked the places I want to make sure I pay careful attention to. So now it's time to start writing, drum roll, finally starting the final draft. First off, there would be an introduction paragraph here, but I'm going to go back and write that later. At the end, because I'm not worried about it. Point is, it's going to end in a thesis. That thesis is going to be this. Have it marked, making sure I'm ready to go. And now I can go ahead and change this to make sure that I say physical education. So students should have to take physical education classes from kindergarten through high school. And then going to start my body paragraphs. Oops, it's underlined. There we go. So body paragraph 1. I gotta turn off the bold. Many people debate the importance of, and I'm going to put physical education. And then if you have something that uses an abbreviation like this, an acronym like this, you're supposed to write it out in full words, full word length, and then put the acronym in parentheses, and then you can use it for the rest of the essay. So from now on, I can say PE. I don't have to keep typing out physical education every time. So many people debate the importance of physical education classes because they don't think, I don't want to say they don't think they're fun like I did on my rough draft, because then they, quote unquote, they is referring to two different things. That's going to get confusing. So many people debate the importance of physical education classes because they don't think the classes are fun. I'm going to come back to that. Turn off. Okay. So let's see. How do I want to put in a... Actually, I'm going to type these and then I'll go back and add transitions so I can show you what that looks like. So students begin taking PE classes in elementary school where they often play fun games like dodgeball. I said I didn't want to say dodgeball and kickball. So let's see, dodgeball and hopscotch. Go. These classes tend to meet every day so students can have, I don't want to say fun again, I've already said fun twice. So students can have a brain break in the day. Moving on to the next one. I don't want to start with PE. I think starting a sentence with an acronym feels weird. So let's see. Students continue PE throughout middle school, but stop after 10th grade in high school. Because when I said it stops in 11th grade here, I mean like you do it 9th grade, 10th grade, but you don't do it in 11th grade. And I feel like now that I'm writing it, I need to explain why it stops in 10th grade. So I'm going to come all the way back to my pre-write here and remember that, oh yeah, that's when we switched to driver's ed. So at students continue PE throughout middle school, but stop after 10th grade and high school. At that point, PE is replaced by driver's education and then becomes optional in 12th grade. Can't leave out that one. Mini schoolers, okay. Younger high school students complain that PE is boring and refuse to participate. I like this better for the grammar because the coach only has students play basic sports like basketball and volleyball. Basic sports, high schoolers don't always see what's important in life. I actually, instead of saying that twice, instead of making that a second minor detail from over here in my outline, I'm just going to cut it here. Let's see. Whatever. Point being, no, I don't want this anymore. Highlight it black. There we go. Take that away. I don't want that part anymore. Fun isn't the most important thing in life. Students take classes in school that they may use later in life, but still to learn life skills through education, but they still carry the education with them into adulthood. Ooh, that sounds fancier. Then P is the same because even if they don't like it, they will still need exercise. I feel like that's repetitive as well. And this is something that I've told a lot of you to watch out for on your writing because you kind of repeat yourself. That sentence kind of repeated it. I don't need to say it again. I can jump straight to my conclusion and say, while having fun with exercise is important. Lessons learned from a PE class will follow people throughout. Oof, no, now I sound too close to the other one. The lessons learned from a PE class. Having fun with exercise is important. Let's see, I might want to tie high school in here. While having fun with exercise is important. Is it though? Well, having fun. Is it though? I'm sure it is. Yes. Working out it needs to be fun. While having fun with exercise makes classes easier, makes PE classes more enjoyable. There we go. Even boring PE classes can still help students. There we go. So I covered the overall point of this paragraph, which was about fun. And I'm saying the information that I added is, even if it's not fun, it is still going to help them. Now, at the final draft phase, I want to make sure that once all is said and done, I am polishing this up to be the best that it can be. And there was one thing that I wanted to change that as I was writing it. Stop after at that point, PE is replaced by and then becomes optional. The younger high school students complain that PE is boring and refuse to participate because the coach only has students play basic sports like basketball and volleyball. I don't like that. Complain that PE is boring and refuse. Let's see. And complain that PE is boring with its basic sports like basketball. No. With only, there we go. The younger high school students complain that PE is boring with only basic sports like basketball and volleyball. Go take a lot of classes in school that they may not use later. Adulthood. I just posted a handout a second ago about using better words. Don't say students take a lot of things. Don't ever say a lot. Don't say lots or a bunch, any of those things. Try to use a more specific word. So students take, I don't want to say dozens because they don't take that many. Students take, don't want to say many, that's still not good enough. Students take non-essential classes in school that they may not use later in life. But students take non-essential classes in school that they may not use later in life, but they still carry the education with them into adulthood. I'm going to change that to knowledge with them into adulthood. There we go. And so now the last polishing piece I want to put on this paragraph is to add the transition words, because that is so crucial to making sure that your logic flows. I have the rubric over here again. Remember, we're aiming, like, it'd be fantastic to get a 600 across the board. So that would be all fours. In reality, 2s and 3s are going to get you passing, but let's pretend that we're getting perfect scores. Those transition words are going to fall here. Logical organizational plan, they're organized logically, use transitions effectively to connect ideas within and across paragraphs. So this means, major and minor details have transitions, but also topic sentences have transitions as well. So coming back over here, I will have at some point had another paragraph before this because it's going to have an introduction. Students should have to take, but that introduction would end with this thesis. So students should have to take physical education classes from kindergarten through high school. And let's see. Let's see. You're always safe with. To begin, many people debate the importance of physical because they don't think the class. I'm actually going to change this to older students deny the importance of physical education classes because they don't think the classes are fun. Because it's not people in general. Like I, at 42 years old, don't particularly care whether I have to take a PE class because I'm probably not going to do it. But older students, the juniors and seniors, they would probably be arguing, we don't have to take PE. In fact, my 13-year-old is like, oh God, PE is the worst. So older students deny. So I've got my transition here to begin. You also, and I have one of the handouts, I believe it's on the vivid word choice handout. It might be on paragraph organization, but one of the handouts gives you examples of transition words. So to begin, older, what are you trying to begin with? No, I did not forget a preposition. So that because they don't think classes are fun. Students begin taking PE classes in elementary school where they often play fun games like dodgeball and hopscotch. Notice here that I combined the minor detail in the same sentence as the major detail. And I have that transition here that connects those ideas. So to begin, as young children, students begin taking PE classes in elementary school where they often play fun. These classes tend to meet every day, so students can have a brain break in the afternoon. As they get older, so now I'm tying this in. I've got young children, as they get older, that's signaling to my reader, hey, I'm switching to a different age range here. Started as little kids, now we're getting into older kids, young adults, continue middle school, but stop after 10th grade and high school. At that point, which I actually already put in the transition there, at that point, PE is replaced by driver's education and then becomes optional in 12th grade. The younger high school students complain that PE is boring. Okay. With only basics. I don't like this. At that point, PE is replaced and then becomes optional in 12th grade. The students who still have to take the class complain that PE is boring. However, so remember, if you're going to address the opposition, because who still have to, you're right, computer, I can do that, who are still required to take the class complain. When you're going to address the opposition, you say, yep, it is boring. You have to just play basketball and volleyball every day. Ooh, what if I don't like that? Yeah, it's boring. I get it. However, fun isn't the most important thing in life. Students take non-essential classes that they may not use. Let's see, I don't want to say for example. Let's just say for example. Better than nothing. For example, students take non-essential classes in school that they may not use later in life, but they still carry them while having fun with exercise. Something like, therefore, while having fun with exercise makes PE classes more enjoyable, even boring PE classes can still help students. Got that transition, signaling to my reader, hey, I'm done. I'm wrapping up this paragraph. Here's where it started. Here's where it's ending. The idea is complete. I'm not going to talk about these things anymore. I'm going to move on to a separate idea. I'm going to stop this video here. And one, because it's time for me to leave, but two, because I'm going to write the rest of the essay and then come back for a video putting the introduction and conclusion paragraphs on there. So I will have already written body 2, body 3 based on what you see over here. I'll go in and fix these things already. But you see what the process looked like. You see that I went in as I was going and said, no, I'm going to make that a little better. Went back to put in those transitions and said, no, I still want to change that. So you are constantly continuing to work as you go. It just gets better and better with each time. So I will type up the rest of it. I'll add that intro and conclusion and make my last video on the writing process.